Strategic integration of hedge fund expertise in U.S. governance, Kyle Bass's role in financial policy reform. Overview. As of late 2023, the intersection of hedge fund expertise and U.S. governance has emerged as a vital area of focus for financial policy reform. Prominent hedge fund manager Kyle Bass is spearheading efforts to integrate hedge fund insights into government decision-making processes. The initiative aims to bolster economic stability and transparency through an estimated budget of $1.8 million for developing an advisory infrastructure by the second quarter of 2024. Key developments. 1. The evolving role of hedge funds. Historically viewed primarily as speculative investment entities, hedge funds are increasingly recognized for their potential to contribute meaningfully to public policy, particularly in the realm of financial governance. Hedge fund managers like Kyle Bass are advocating for enhanced collaboration between the private sector and governmental bodies. This shift signifies a recognition that the financial acumen and innovative strategies employed by hedge funds can offer valuable insights into market dynamics and regulatory frameworks. 2. Focus on financial policy reform. The core agenda of the proposed financial reforms encompasses several crucial areas. Regulatory enhancement, re-evaluating and strengthening the regulatory frameworks that govern financial markets to ensure they are robust enough to mitigate risks and promote fair practices. Fiscal responsibility, advocating for financial prudence in government spending and investment, aligning public fiscal policies with sound financial strategies. Incorporation of hedge fund insights, establishing mechanisms for utilizing the expertise of hedge funds in public discussions and policymaking processes. Ensuring that financial strategies are informed by data-driven insights. 3. Budget and infrastructure development. To support these initiatives, Kyle Bass has laid out a preliminary budget of approximately $1.8 million aimed at creating an advisory infrastructure. This infrastructure is expected to include workshops and roundtable discussions, sessions that bring together policymakers and hedge fund experts to discuss current market challenges and potential reform strategies. Research and reports, generating comprehensive analyses and recommendations that can inform legislative actions and regulatory changes. Public engagement, initiatives designed to educate stakeholders about the benefits of integrating hedge fund strategies into governance. Collaborative governance. A recurring theme in this movement is the necessity of collaborative governance. The integration of private sector expertise into public policy is viewed as a pathway to crafting more effective and informed regulations. By leveraging the nuanced understanding that hedge fund managers have of market behavior and economic indicators, the government can formulate policies that are not only reactive but also proactive in addressing financial challenges. Urgency for reform. There is a growing consensus among various stakeholders regarding the urgency required for financial policy reform. The aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis continues to resonate, highlighting the pitfalls of inadequate regulatory oversight and the potential benefits of incorporating diverse financial expertise into the policymaking process. The ongoing economic challenges, including inflation and market volatility, further underscore the need for reforms that harness strategic financial insights. Timeline of events. October 2023. Kyle Bass begins advocating for the strategic integration of hedge fund expertise into U.S. governance, emphasizing the need for comprehensive financial reforms. Q1 2024, preparatory activities commence for establishing the advisory infrastructure, including budget discussions and stakeholder engagement. Q2 2024, the advisory infrastructure is officially launched with the initiation of formal advisory sessions, workshops, and discussions aimed at shaping financial policy using hedge fund strategies. Use cases and historical context. While specific examples of use cases were not detailed in the sources, historical events provide a backdrop for understanding the potential impact of integrating hedge fund strategies into governance. The 2008 financial crisis serves as a critical reminder of the consequences of insufficient oversight and the importance of diverse financial expertise in crafting resilient economic policies. The lessons learned from past crises can inform current efforts, suggesting that a collaborative approach involving hedge fund insights could enhance risk management and improve investment decision-making within government programs. Conclusion: the strategic integration of hedge fund expertise into U.S. governance championed by Kyle Bass represents a significant shift towards more informed and collaborative policymaking. With a focused agenda on financial policy reform and a dedicated budget for establishing an advisory framework, this initiative aims to create pathways for economic stability and transparency. As the landscape of financial governance continues to evolve, the role of hedge funds in shaping future policies will likely become increasingly paramount. The strategic integration of hedge fund expertise into U.S. governance, particularly through financial policy reform as led by Kyle Bass, presents several counterintuitive insights that challenge traditional views on the roles of private capital and government policymaking. 1. Hedge funds as policy influencers. Typically, hedge funds are perceived as entities primarily focused on profit maximization through speculative investments. The counterintuitive notion here is that these funds, often criticized for their lack of transparency and high-risk strategies, can actually play a constructive role in shaping public policy. This underscores a shift in perspective where hedge funds are viewed not merely as financial actors but as potential contributors to the governance ecosystem, providing insights that can lead to enhanced economic stability. 2. Collaboration over conflict. The common narrative surrounding hedge funds often emphasizes their adversarial relationship with regulatory bodies and public institutions. However, the movement led by Bass advocates for a collaborative approach, suggesting that the fusion of private sector expertise with public governance can yield more effective financial policies. This challenges the traditional dichotomy of public versus private interests, positing that a symbiotic relationship can lead to better outcomes for both sectors. 3. Innovative use of advisory resources. The allocation of a $1.8 million budget for establishing an advisory infrastructure might seem excessive for a public governance initiative, especially considering the historical skepticism towards hedge fund motives. However, this investment is aimed at fostering a system where informed decision-making is prioritized. The counterintuitive element here is that rather than viewing this budget as a potential misallocation of public funds, it should be seen as a strategic investment in enhancing the quality of governance through specialized financial insights. For urgency versus caution. While there is a recognized urgency for financial reform, the integration of hedge funds into policy discussions may be perceived as a risky move by some stakeholders. The counterintuitive aspect is that bringing in hedge fund managers whose strategies may involve high-risk tolerances could paradoxically lead to more cautious and well-regulated financial environments. This suggests that engaging with high-risk financial actors may actually foster a more robust regulatory framework, as their insights could help anticipate and mitigate systemic risks. 5. Historical lessons. The discussion surrounding the incorporation of hedge fund strategies into governance is informed by historical events like the 2008 financial crisis. The counterintuitive insight here is that the very entities often blamed for exacerbating financial instability could also provide critical lessons and innovative strategies for preventing future crises. This perspective reframes hedge funds from being solely a source of risk to potentially being a reservoir of knowledge that can inform better regulatory practices. 6. Decentralization of expertise. Traditionally, expertise in financial policy has been concentrated within government agencies and academic institutions. The push for hedge fund involvement represents a decentralization of expertise, challenging the notion that only traditional institutions can provide valid insights into financial governance. This counterintuitive shift suggests that diverse viewpoints, including those from hedge fund managers, may enhance the robustness of policy discussions. In conclusion, the strategic integration of hedge fund expertise into U.S. governance as championed by Kyle Bass reveals several counterintuitive insights that challenge existing paradigms. By reframing hedge funds as potential allies in policy reform rather than adversaries, this movement advocates for a more inclusive and informed approach to financial governance, prompting a re-evaluation of the roles that private capital can play in public decision-making processes. In the context of Kyle Bass's strategic integration of hedge fund expertise into U.S. governance, there are several important aspects of the report that may be overlooked, yet are significant for understanding the broader implications of this initiative. 1. The shift in perception of hedge funds. One of the critical points that might be overshadowed is the evolving perception of hedge funds from mere speculative entities to essential contributors in policymaking. This shift is significant because it reflects a broader trend where financial expertise is increasingly sought to address complex economic challenges. By recognizing hedge funds as valuable resources, this initiative could lead to more informed policy decisions that leverage market insights and risk management strategies. Significance: this change in perception can potentially alter the dynamics of how financial policies are crafted. Historically, hedge funds have been viewed with skepticism due to their high-risk strategies. However, integrating their insights could lead to more effective regulatory frameworks and greater market stability. The significance lies in the potential for a more collaborative relationship between the private sector and government, which may enhance the efficacy of financial policies. 2. The advisory infrastructure. The proposed budget of $1.8 million for establishing an advisory infrastructure is another aspect that may not receive the attention it deserves. This infrastructure is designed to facilitate communication between hedge fund experts and policymakers, which includes workshops, roundtables, and informational reports. Significance: the establishment of a formal advisory body signifies a commitment to evidence-based policymaking. It suggests that the government is willing to invest in expertise to inform its financial policies, which is crucial in an era marked by economic volatility. This infrastructure could serve as a model for future collaborations between the public and private sectors, fostering a culture of shared knowledge and best practices in governance. 3. Urgency for financial reform. The report highlights a growing consensus on the urgency for financial reform but does not delve deeply into the specific economic challenges prompting this urgency. The backdrop of economic instability, rising national debt, and the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic underscores the need for comprehensive reforms. Significance: understanding the reasons behind the urgency for reform is vital. It provides context for why integrating hedge fund expertise is not just beneficial but necessary. The economic landscape is fraught with complexities that require innovative solutions. Neglecting to recognize the urgency could lead to complacency in addressing these pressing issues. 4. Collaborative governance model. The emphasis on collaborative governance is a theme that may be easily overlooked. The idea that private sector insights can enhance public governance reflects a paradigm shift in how policies might be developed in the future. Significance: this collaborative model is significant as it challenges traditional boundaries between the public and private sectors. By merging these worlds, the potential exists for creating policies that are not only theoretically sound but also practically viable. This model could pave the way for other sectors to engage in similar partnerships, leading to a more holistic approach to governance. 5. Historical context and learning from past crises. Although the report mentions historical examples like the 2008 financial crisis, it does not explore the lessons learned from such events in detail. The insights gained from past financial crises could inform the current push for reform and the involvement of hedge funds in governance. Significance: historical context is crucial for understanding the potential pitfalls of financial policies. By examining previous failures and successes, policymakers can craft more resilient frameworks that are better equipped to withstand economic shocks. Ignoring this context could lead to repetitive mistakes and missed opportunities for improvement. 6. Potential risks and challenges of integration. While the report focuses on the benefits of integrating hedge fund expertise, it does not address the potential risks and challenges that could arise from this collaboration. Issues such as conflicts of interest, regulatory capture, and the potential for excessive influence of private capital on public policy should be considered. Significance: recognizing these risks is essential for developing safeguards that ensure ethical governance. Acknowledging and addressing potential pitfalls upfront can lead to more robust frameworks that balance private interests with public good. This foresight can prevent future backlash against perceived undue influence from hedge funds in policymaking. 7. The role of transparency. The report emphasizes the need for transparency in both hedge fund operations and the policymaking process. However, the mechanisms to ensure this transparency are not thoroughly discussed. Significance: transparency is vital in maintaining public trust and accountability. Without clear guidelines on how hedge fund insights will be shared and utilized, there may be skepticism regarding the motivations behind their involvement. Establishing robust transparency measures can enhance the legitimacy of the advisory infrastructure and ensure that it serves the public interest. Conclusion: the strategic integration of hedge fund expertise into U.S. governance, spearheaded by Kyle Bass, presents a transformative opportunity for financial policy reform. However, understanding the nuances and implications of this initiative requires a closer examination of the overlooked aspects highlighted above. As the initiative progresses towards implementation by Q2 2024, it is crucial for stakeholders to remain vigilant to both the opportunities and challenges presented by this new collaborative governance model. By doing so, they can ensure that the integration of hedge fund expertise leads to sustainable and effective financial policies that address the pressing economic challenges of our time. 1. Strategic role of hedge funds in governance. The growing recognition of hedge funds as integral players in public policy formulation marks a significant shift in how financial expertise is perceived within governmental frameworks. Kyle Bass exemplifies this trend by leveraging his hedge fund experience to advocate for reforms that aim to enhance economic stability and transparency. This point is crucial for understanding the evolving landscape of governance, where private sector insights are increasingly sought to inform public policy. 2. Focus on financial policy reform. The proposed reforms that Kyle Bass champions highlight the urgent need to enhance regulatory frameworks, promote fiscal responsibility, and incorporate hedge fund insights into public decision-making. This focus on reform is vital for addressing systemic issues within the financial markets, and it underscores the potential benefits of engaging hedge fund managers in the policymaking process. The collaborative approach suggested by Bass could lead to more informed and effective governance. 3. Advisory infrastructure and budget allocation. The establishment of an advisory infrastructure with a budget of $1.8 million is a key component of this initiative. This infrastructure is intended to facilitate workshops, roundtables, and comprehensive reports that will provide policymakers with access to hedge fund strategies and market dynamics. Understanding the logistics and expected outcomes of this advisory framework is critical for assessing the potential impact of integrating hedge fund expertise into financial policy discussions. For her urgency for financial reform, there is a consensus among stakeholders on the urgent need for financial policy reforms to tackle contemporary economic challenges. This urgency reflects a broader acknowledgement of past financial crises and the lessons learned regarding regulatory oversight. The integration of hedge fund strategies into governance could serve as a proactive measure to prevent future economic downturns, making this point essential for an in-depth analysis of the proposed reforms and their implications for U.S. financial policy. 1. The 2008 financial crisis and the role of hedge funds. The financial crisis that began in 2007 and peaked in 2008 highlighted the repercussions of unregulated financial markets. Hedge funds, while not the sole cause of the crisis, played a significant role in the events leading up to it, particularly through high-risk investments and the use of leverage. In the aftermath, there was a push for regulatory reform leading to the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act in 2010. This act aimed to increase oversight of financial institutions and improve transparency in the hedge fund industry. The crisis underscored the importance of integrating expert financial analysis into policymaking to prevent future economic downturns. 2. The Glass-Steagall Act repeal and its consequences. The repeal of the Glass-Steagall Act in 1999, which had previously separated commercial banking from investment banking, is a historical case that illustrates the impact of financial deregulation. This change allowed financial institutions to engage in high-risk investment activities, leading to increased speculation and contributing to the 2008 financial crisis. In recent years, there have been calls for reinstating some form of Glass-Steagall legislation to restore stability and protect consumers. This historical context emphasizes the need for informed financial policy shaped by a collaboration between private sector expertise and governmental oversight. 3. The Enron scandal and the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. The Enron scandal in the early 2000s, which involved accounting fraud and led to the bankruptcy of the Enron Corporation, prompted significant changes in U.S. corporate governance and financial regulation. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002 was enacted in response, aiming to protect investors by improving the accuracy and reliability of corporate disclosures. This case illustrates how a crisis in the private sector can catalyze governmental reform, highlighting the necessity of incorporating expert insights into regulatory frameworks to prevent malfeasance and promote ethical business practices. Future outlook: the strategic integration of hedge fund expertise in U.S. governance by Q2 2024. As the landscape of U.S. governance continues to evolve, the integration of hedge fund expertise, particularly through the efforts of influential figures like Kyle Bass, is poised to reshape financial policy reform. With an estimated budget of $1.8 million allocated for the establishment of an advisory infrastructure, the following predictions outline the potential developments in this domain by Q2 2024 and beyond. 1. Enhanced collaboration between private and public sectors. By Q2 2024, we anticipate a formalized framework that facilitates collaboration between hedge funds and government entities. The advisory infrastructure will likely include a series of workshops and roundtable discussions aimed at fostering dialogue between financial experts and policymakers. This collaborative approach is expected to lead to more informed decision-making processes, enabling the government to leverage hedge fund strategies to address pressing economic challenges. 2. Development of robust financial regulatory frameworks. The ongoing urgency for financial reform will drive the establishment of more comprehensive regulatory frameworks. By integrating hedge fund insights, the government can craft policies that are not only responsive to market dynamics but also proactive in preventing financial crises. Expect significant contributions from Bass and his associates in shaping these frameworks, focusing on transparency, accountability, and risk management. 3. Increased focus on fiscal responsibility. As part of the proposed reforms, there will likely be a heightened emphasis on fiscal responsibility. The advisory infrastructure may promote methodologies that hedge funds use to assess risk and manage investments effectively. This can translate into more disciplined budgeting practices and financial oversight within government programs, ultimately leading to a more sustainable fiscal environment. 4. Rise of data-driven decision-making. The integration of hedge fund expertise will likely usher in a new era of data-driven decision-making in U.S. governance. Hedging strategies and quantitative analysis methods used by hedge funds could inform public policy, leading to the adoption of advanced analytical tools within government agencies. This data-centric approach can enhance the ability to forecast economic trends and respond to them with agility. 5. A shift in public perception of hedge funds. As hedge funds become increasingly involved in shaping public policy, public perception may shift from viewing these entities solely as profit-driven firms to recognizing them as partners in governance. This change will depend on the transparency of operations and the perceived effectiveness of the policies developed through this collaboration. Successful implementation of reforms could bolster confidence in the role of hedge funds in public governance. 6. Targeted policy initiatives to address economic inequality. With the growing awareness of economic inequality, Bass and his advisory team may advocate for targeted policy initiatives that address this issue through innovative financial solutions. This could include investment in underserved communities or the development of financial products designed to enhance access to capital for lower-income individuals. Such initiatives would align hedge fund strategies with broader social goals, enhancing the legitimacy of their role in governance. 7. Establishment of pilot programs for financial innovations. By Q2 2024, we can expect the launch of pilot programs testing new financial innovations inspired by hedge fund practices. These programs may focus on areas such as public pension fund management, infrastructure investment, or social impact bonds. The outcomes of these pilots will not only inform future policy decisions but also serve as case studies for best practices in blending private financial expertise with public sector objectives. 8. Long-term impact on economic resilience. The integration of hedge fund expertise into U.S. governance is likely to have a lasting impact on the country's economic resilience. As policymakers adopt strategies informed by hedge fund analytics, the government will be better equipped to navigate economic downturns and unforeseen financial challenges. This resilience will be critical in fostering an environment conducive to sustainable growth. Conclusion: the strategic integration of hedge fund expertise into U.S. governance. Spearheaded by Kyle Bass and supported by a dedicated budget for advisory infrastructure, is set to transform financial policy reform by Q2 2024. This initiative promises to enhance collaboration between the private and public sectors, develop robust regulatory frameworks, and prioritize fiscal responsibility. As these changes unfold, the role of hedge funds in governance may evolve, potentially reshaping public perception and establishing new paradigms for economic resilience and innovation.